Hey guys, welcome. This is Fang. Welcome to the Fang Real Estate Show. We come to you guys every Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Time. And so, the point of this show is really just to bring like the movers and shakers from our community, our Hmong community in particular, and just to kind of see what to help each other out. After this, I will post this on the Fang Real Estate Show YouTube channel. So if you guys missed it, you guys could go watch it there, or just search on there. And the structure of the show is really to discuss what our community members and these movers and shakers like Stephen Thao today to kind of share their story and tips and tricks to kind of help the community out. And then after that, what we're going to do is we'll allow maybe like 10, 15, or 20 minutes at the end of the show to ask some questions if you guys, or answer some questions if you guys have any. So if you guys have any questions, throughout the stream today, go ahead and write down all your questions on the stream. I'll be looking sort of on the side. And so I'll be watching the stream and to see if you guys have any questions. If you guys have any questions, then I'll ask the guests at the end of the show. So we'll do that. Okay. Again, if you guys are joining us, please do like, share, and comment on the stream to let us know that we're doing something useful and helpful to the community, especially our Hmong community. Okay. Um, let's see. All right. With that said, let's get started then. Steven, why don't you introduce yourself?
All
Uh,
right.
and what were you doing before real estate? And then
Sure. So
why?
I could
Yeah.
definitely introduce myself. So first and foremost, hey, thanks a lot for having me on your Fang Real Estate Show. You've been doing amazing stuff, and you've been investing your time, be a major contribution into the investors group. I think you're doing a great job. Keep it up, okay? I think
Thanks.
there are people out there who needs individuals like you who yourself is a mover and a shaker and putting the effort and time, especially on a Sunday
Yeah.
to put the show together. So I sincerely appreciate you from the bottom of my heart and for having me here. Secondly, thank you for all of those of you who are tuning in. I promise you, you guys are gonna have a lot of fun with us today. Okay, me too. We're gonna share stories around, and what I have decided to do today too is share horror stories with you guys. Okay, I think that by sharing horror stories with you guys, mistakes, trials and errors, you may have you may feel connected more and enjoy that. Once again, I'm Stephen Thao, real estate broker, CEO of Creative Results, right here in our headquarters, right here in Roseville, Minnesota. You may have seen us around doing some public relationships campaigns such as Thanksgiving giveaway, Christmas giveaway that's coming up here, and many more out there. Once again, I'm Stephen Thao. I'm the broker of Creative Results. And I've been doing real estate since 2005 all in, full time ever since then. 2005,
Yeah.
we have a couple of locations in in Wisconsin as well, Milwaukee to Wausau to even Appleton over there. And what you're going to learn from me today, and my objective for you guys today is if you're a newbie, it's going to help you figure out exactly where to start or where to go. If you're experienced and you're doing deals already, how do you multiply those deals?
Yeah.
And on top of that, even when you become very, very experienced, and including myself, we become overconfident that we create another mess for ourselves. I'm not to avoid all those, okay? So whichever it is, and I'm going to plug you in today so that you don't feel left out, and for sure you're going to get something out of this.
Yeah.
Did you have another question?
Yeah. So what were you doing? Let's take it back. I met you like I think maybe like 3 years ago. I remember my
3 years ago,
brother-in-law and I came to. That's when I just moved here to Minnesota, and so my
yes,
brother-in-law
I
and I
recall.
came to look at to St. Paul, from San Diego. So my brother-in-law and I came to look at one of your property. He was
Right.
doing plumbing work, and so I was talking to
I
you.
recall.
Yeah.
I recall.
Yeah, then I was like, "Hey, I'm too." So what do you do? Do you do flip full time? And what I got from it, what I remember was like, "This is what you told me." No, this is a hobby. And at that time, I remember thinking, "Shoot, I moved here to Minnesota to try to flip and work in real estate and all that stuff. This guy's doing this as a hobby. Are you kidding me? And then that's why I started researching more about you and what you
That's
do
right.
and stuff like that. I'm like, oh man, I really need to get to know this guy. He just. On top of that, I see your face everywhere with your posters. I mean, with your signs and stuff like that. So that's where I met you, and then ever since that, I just been following you and your team and what you guys do at Creative Results. It's just amazing. What were
Sure.
you doing? What were you doing before real estate?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay. So, and that's the same question that I always ask everybody who I meet too, because there has never been one person, right off fresh off of high school who comes straight into real estate.
Yeah.
So far, everybody who I meet, they do something else and then turns back away around all the way back to real estate again. So that's a good question. Prior to real estate, you won't believe this. I went to school for computer graphics.
Oh,
Okay,
graphics.
and I actually got my bachelor's for computer graphics. But prior to graduating, on top of my head, I actually wanted to fly down to Hollywood and hopefully get a job in Hollywood and be a motion graphic artist over there
Uh-huh.
somehow. Crazy thoughts. But of course, that was out of reach. And not only that, but I can't even draw. The most I could draw is like stick figure. I don't know why I was even in art school for. So then I did an internship with a real estate company at that time. It's 2005, young kid, about
Uh-huh.
22 years old. And I did not know the differences between real estate and mortgages. I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't know the differences. So, I started doing business cards, I started doing brochures, but the designs I did were outdated homes. It just didn't fit what they wanted for their type of marketing. So then I thought to myself, okay, Steven, here, in order to get a much better job, why don't you go get your license
Yeah.
so that you understand the language, come out and do much better graphic design work so that you would at least get hired full time once you're done. So I got my license, okay? This is
Yeah.
2005. Subprime market, during that time, 2005, anyone and everyone could buy a house as long as you could breathe.
Yeah.
Seriously, I kid you not. As long as you could breathe, you could buy a house.
Yeah.
Relatives comes by, hey, Steven, you have a license. Can you take us to go look at a house? Sure, I can. I don't mind. I have the license anyway.
Yeah.
So that was exactly what I did, and I accidentally sold a home. Okay,
But
at that time.
you're just getting your license to help your graphics design career.
That's right. Right. That
Oh,
was the true purpose. Okay.
yeah.
But because I had the license and they wanted to go look at a house, sure, why not, right?
Yeah.
And then I made my first sale. I was around 22 years old, broke college kid, no money,
Yeah.
and so it was only a couple $1,000s, $5,000-$6,000, very little, but for a broke college kid, that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So then that's when I started to shift gears a little bit, like, okay, maybe there's something that I don't know that wasn't taught at the formal education system.
Yeah.
So then I looked into it, and then I happened to fall into the Robert Kiyosaki,
Yeah.
Rich
Right.
Dad Poor Dad. That stretched my vision. That I turned around, and during that time there weren't YouTube, there was not social media. So the only way to learn about investing was through seminars.
Yeah.
Then I
Yeah.
went to seminars, and from there on, it just took off. It just turned things around, and then I just kind of dropped the graphics side and went all into real estate ever since.
Okay. So that at that time that was still here in Twin Cities?
It was
Or
here, Twin Cities.
did you move to Oh, okay.
No, it was all here in Twin Cities. The only differences was that the participants then are a lot different from now.
Yeah.
The agents that used to be agents then, you don't see them anymore. So right now it's a brand new wave. But at the same time, back then they didn't have like HGTV. They probably did, but you didn't see it on YouTube or anything like that, right? Or Netflix.
Yeah.
So the way people fix homes, they just did enough just to get by as well. So the market, everything over during that period was completely different from today's modern world right now.
Yeah. So how did you? I mean, you had your license through the crash. So
I
mean,
did.
at the beginning it was great.
Right.
you accidentally sold a home.
That's right.
So how was that? How was going through the crash? Like how?
So
that teach you
so that's a
anything,
great
or-
question.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important to know this, especially those of you who are investors who haven't, or investors, or even agents who haven't yet been through the full 4 cycles of the real estate market. In 2005, it was exactly like right now, at this current moment right now. What I mean by that is, there's everybody's overconfident. Okay,
Yeah.
overconfident. Consumer spending is great. Economy is great. So everybody feels like they could be millionaires overnight.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what was going on there in 2005. But it was a lot easier than what it is now. There wasn't, debt ratios to control it. Loan officers didn't really need a license. And as an agent, we could even be loan officers and make money from that side as well. So the market was different. And which leads me to your question there. So the first couple years, 2005 and 6, I thought I was,
You're the king of the world.
unstoppable. Yeah, right. I thought I was invincible. Okay,
Yeah.
seriously, I thought I was invincible. Like, this is it. This is how simple it is. I don't even need to go and draw any stick figures anymore. No more graphics. I could just go talk to this person, talk to that person, and then make money, right?
Yeah.
But of course, the crash came along. Okay,
Yeah.
and what the crash did was it filtered out a lot of people. Okay, it weeded out a lot of agents. They went out of the business to the point that even I myself thought about getting out of the business.
Yeah.
Okay, I was that close to it. I'm glad I did it. Okay, but I was that close to it. But what I've learned was this: the times that you learn most are the times that you hit rock bottom. Okay,
Oh,
and it is, because it's the most hardest moments that you finally meet your other self. During happy moments, happy times, think the times that you're doing well, you're always celebrating. So you're not concentrated enough on progressing further, or you're not looking at the what not to do checklist. You're just focusing on the what to do, and then you're always celebrating.
Yeah.
So what I learned around that time there was that I met myself. I met the other side of myself that I did not even know existed. I looked around all my peers, they were out of the business. They went to do other businesses. It has nothing to do with real estate. And then something triggered one day when I was watching Jackie Chan's movies. Something triggered, okay?
Okay.
And what triggered me there was this, that those guys, those actors, okay, those actors and actresses, why are they so successful? If you take a look at their history, they've been practicing since kids.
Yeah.
Right? They've been practicing since kids.
Yeah, Jackie Chan was like, I think 7 when he started.
That's right? Yeah. Since kids. And then now I turn to look at, other professionals. Why are they so successful? They've been practicing for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the real estate market, and then what I realized was there were a few, agents and brokers that were doing perfectly fine, with the crash of '08. How come they're doing fine? Yeah. I started networking, and I ran across investors. How come they're doing fine? All the people who I met were getting out of the industry. They were getting out of the business. How come these guys were doing fine? But as I went for lunch with them, one after another, I started studying them. These guys has been doing it for years, 20 to 30 plus years. And all they did was shift gears. That's it. Okay? All it was shift strategies and shift gears.
Yeah.
But nobody wanted to share secrets. No one did. All right?
Yeah.
The only way to get secrets was to go to lunch, take somebody to lunch, pick the brains, pick a little bit of this, a little bit of that, few books, put it together, explore trials and errors. Okay?
Yeah.
So, right. So through the crash of '08, '09, '10 to 11, that was when I finally learned about myself. I finally realized that, I thought I knew about real estate, but I didn't. This is the beginning of my real educational real estate endeavors. It was not the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Those years were just luck years. But it was really the crash that I finally met and learned what hard money or private money was. It was during that time that I had to finally learn about how to structure creative financing, seller financing deals. There was those moments that I finally understood the idea and concepts of the market shifting. I need to stay ahead of the game. Does it make sense? Yeah. So that's how I actually survived through and did not back down. I almost did, but I'm so glad that I did it. Otherwise, I don't know what I'd be doing now.
Go back to graphic designing.
go graphic designing, right?
So why did you decide? I mean, your peers were getting out at this time. Why did you decide? Okay, I need to go network with all these people, and pick their brains or like have lunch with them and try to piece this puzzle together. Like why not go back to graphic design like we were kidding about? why try to pursue this a career path or this industry further?
That's a good question. And the reason why that I thought about going back, okay, to computer graphics. However, in '05 and '06, I saw the money. Okay, so I
Okay.
realized, okay, there is money to be made in real estate.
Yeah.
Okay, and so it gave me a taste of how it feels like to be able to just travel the world without having to worry about financial situations. And even though I was really young and rookie then, it kind of and with the Robert Kiyosaki stuff, it stretched my vision to kind of see that. So I kept on believing in the dream. Okay, that one day the market will come back. One day something's gonna come back.
Yeah.
So, but what really triggered was that I kept on reading books. So during that period there, I kept on reading books about professionals who or gurus or experts who kept on failing, but they kept on trying again. They fail again and they try again over and over again. So that gave me hope. Okay, gave me hope that well, if you stick to it long enough, perhaps you'll get something out of this. But most importantly was this too. Going back to that Jackie Chan movie, it's telling me that I'm too new in this business or what I'm doing to even quit.
Yeah.
These guys they've been doing what they've been doing for the last 20 plus years to be who they are today. If I quit now and do something else, I'm just basically going to the beginning and start all over again. And if that happens to crash, it doesn't work well, I'm going to do the same thing and shift into something else. Yeah. And I did not want to create that habit of when things get tough, you forward. I want to keep the habit of when things get tough, you learn, you grow, and you continue to prosper. So that's why I just kept going. And one last thing, it's because I did not know what else to do. Real estate was my life. I gave it my all. That's all I did. All I do is just real estate, diehard real estate all day long. You tell me something else, I don't know what they're talking about. I had no passion in it.
Well, and I think Robert Kiyosaki ruined a lot of people's lives. Once you read it, then you're like, oh shoot, I can't go back to do other things. I gotta
right.
Work for myself, pursue business plans, other things. It's a mindset shift. It ruined my life. So,
which is good too. Yeah. There's a plus and a negative. Like a lot of times, for instance, I have individuals who meet with me and ask a simple question like, how do I do this full time? Or if I was to do real estate, regardless if it's sell or invest full time, and how do I position myself? Or what if I cut my job, or what if I quit my job and it doesn't go well?
Yeah.
Well, you see, just like from the book Think and Grow Rich, until you cut all sources of retreat, you won't succeed beyond your limits.
Yeah.
Because you will always rely on that. There's a place I can always fall back on. So you're not going to go all in.
Yeah, you got to burn
the moment you cut it, you burn the bridge. There's no way to return. It's just that direction.
Exactly.
And now you become really hungry too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means you become really hungry because if you don't make money, you're not going to eat. And if you're a single person, it's fine because you know what? If I don't eat, fine, I'll just starve. But we have family and kids, hey, they need to eat. Okay, so then now you're going to hustle even harder.
Yeah, for sure. So I know you started '05. What does your business portfolio look like? How many? Because you invest too. You're not just a broker.
I'm an investor. I'm a bigger fan of short-term investing, in and out. Okay, so I'm not much a fan of holding. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
So I do have rental properties. I do have mixed-use commercial property as well. But all my activities when it comes to investing, is in and out. It's either wholesales or it's either what you call it, rehabs.
Rehabs.
Yes.
So
in and out. My holding periods will be between 3 months to about 6 months. Except for this year, I had a few properties that took a little bit too much properties, which I'll talk to you in a little bit here about as well to share with you for people who's getting into what not to do.
Yeah. So, but now you have a brokerage firm, right?
Yes.
And then you also have a rehab or construction company.
Yes.
So you have two companies. Do you have a graphics design company too?
I don't, but I should, right?
You should. You guys have a lot of graphics stuff and videos.
I should.
and things.
Yeah. So right. So thanks for bringing that up. My bread and butter, the primary cash flow business is the real estate brokerage. Okay,
Uh-huh.
which is Creative Results,
Yeah.
and that's the biggest concentration for me is in Creative Results, and the reason being is because it's the timing's right for this model, which we do investing, sales, plus team building.
Yeah.
Yet alone, since 2014 until now, we are close. We are over 2,000 transactions,
Uh-huh.
which 30% of those are from our personal investment deals. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and the rest are representing buyers and sellers from traditionals to non-traditionals. And just this year alone, we are already over 400 transactions
Oh, yeah.
for 2019. But
So,
the beauty of building this brokerage here is it allows us to outreach to more deals out there as well too. So we do like events from events to be able to generate and meet clients. We
yeah.
build teams and organizations so that these teams and organizations could bring in more deals because everybody knows somebody else that you don't know. And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it is a numbers game.
Yeah. So what? So your brokerage firm, it's not just like buy sell. I mean, why did you
So
build it where you kind of, it's sort of like a broker investment
we
firm.
call it hybrid.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah. It's a hybrid, right?
it's a
So why
hybrid,
build
yes.
it that way? Why not just like buy sell?
Traditional stuff, right? Right. So when I started, selling real estate back in '05, I was with a traditional brokerage, really good brokerage, but traditional.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't really teach anything on investing. Investing has its own completely, ball game. It has nothing to do with sales. Brokerages is all about sales. So when I went to these brokerages, we were not taught anything on investing at all. I had to go through these seminars. Russell,
Uh-huh.
what's his name? Russell, forgot his name, but now they changed their model and they called the new name Fortune Builder.
Uh-huh.
But back then they had a different name for it. And fast forward around 2008, 9, 10, when I started getting into the creative side of real estate, from seller financing to double closings to wholesales and all of those. Yeah, all fast forward to 2014, and I started exploring around. Like, are there any brokerages out there that actually teaches investing, anything like the creative side? And there
Uh-huh.
wasn't. There wasn't. So I thought to myself that, hey, if I was into sales and I'm also into investing, that means that there must be lots of agents out there who are into sales that also wants to do investing, or there
Yeah.
are investors who want to invest but just wants to hold their license and utilize that. But
Yeah.
most importantly is this. Remember, going back to the Robert Kiyosaki model, right?
Yep.
We're talking about the B quadrant, and we're talking about the I quadrant, the cash flow
Yeah.
quadrant, and the investment quadrant. As a traditional realtor, okay, you have no passive income. You could, all day long, wake up in the morning to night, work, hustle, and you're back into that S quadrant only.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as a broker, we have cash flow from the residuals, from the overrides that we get when the agents sell. But our
Yeah.
agents don't have that. How about if we also build that feature into our model? So that
Yeah.
if our agents decide that, hey, Stephen, I think I'm an entrepreneur. I don't care about selling homes, or selling homes is a bonus, but I want to build an organization and be able to generate cash flow just like you, without having to actually have the broker's license.
Yeah.
So then now I have three pillars. I can make money if I'm selling real estate. I can make money if I have a team who's actually, selling real estate and I'm earning from it, and
Yeah.
invest. That's the third one. But most importantly, the bigger my team, the more that I know that my team is going to be able to go and help me get more deals as well too, regardless if it's for our investing or regardless if it's for representing buyers and sellers. So
Wow.
then that's where the model all came in, and it just somehow took off. So
Yeah.
the model was there, the plan was there, but at the same time, it was a little bit of luck as well, because in 2014, a lot of people weren't really into, they've already given up in real estate, or
Yeah. This
been
real
waiting to see
estate.
if real estate
Real
was going to
estate's a
come up.
scam, right? At that
That's
point.
right. So the timing was perfect, because when we started, I looked around, the number of agents, not just from our company, but all the way around, was very, very little. And today, especially like right now, last week I looked up, almost everybody has their license now, So, So you're an agent too. Oh, no one
Yeah,
to know.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
So
cool. Welcome.
yeah, man, maybe I need to come join your team over there.
That's right.
I'm also an agent, but I'm with yeah, I'm with a different broker.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. That's right.
mm, so I mean, we've been talking a lot, about your company. That's great.
Uh-huh.
You have
Yes.
over, I think, over 100 something agents right now,
Yeah,
right?
that's correct.
Yeah, that's huge, man.
Yeah, it is.
Is
It
that
is.
and that's and you guys open another branch? Did
Yeah, we have it in Wausau, and then
uh-huh.
we have it in Appleton, and we also have it in Milwaukee.
Oh yeah. Oh, so
The
you
yeah,
open
the
three?
biggest one is of course it's right here because we're the headquarter, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
those ones are more of smaller branches.
yeah, yeah. Man, you're gonna be like the next Keller Williams, and you're
I
gonna
don't know.
be
We'll see.
international.
You know, because
I,
what I've learned also is at the moment your team grows from 10 to 20 or 20 to 50 or 50 to 100, it takes a completely different mentality,
uh-huh.
different skill sets,
Yeah,
different thinking process to be able to handle the growth of it, the size of it as well too.
uh-huh.
Through every stage of growth, not just on the sales side, but even on the investing side, every stage of the growth and development, when the numbers start to double, your
Yeah,
mental process, it has to think different. It has
yeah,
to no longer think of like personal activities, but think more and more of like a director. And
yeah,
you start to see things, missing variables that you never thought that even existed.
yeah. Well, we've been doing sort of high level discussion, but let's
Right.
just dive deep into wow, it's going quick. Let's just well, what was everyone starts with the first deal. So let's talk about your first deal.
Yes.
Whether it's
Sure.
yeah, yeah. What was your first investment deal? And
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. How was
So
that?
yeah. So let me tell you one of my first investment deals. Again, I got it right here too. And what you're gonna learn from this deal here is mistakes.
Yeah.
And this one was back in 2005. I just went to a seminar, and they
Mhm.
taught you how to, you know, get rich quick, right?
Yeah.
And so I came out really
Overnight
excited,
success.
right?
Yeah.
Overnight success.
Yeah.
Here I am, okay, a broke kid, just made a few sales in real estate, but I went to this 3-day course seminar, took some notes. I'm hyped up. And
Yeah.
on top of my head, I'm thinking I'm going to be a millionaire by next week. All right. That's like my
Yeah.
thought. That's everybody's initial thought, right? When you first get into real estate and then you go through these seminars, very empowering. So I came back out here and I made an offer. Actually, at this time, I listed this property, okay? And
Uh-huh.
the list price was about $180,000. And what I did was I actually offered to buy this property for $179,900.
Uh-huh. So
And
$100 off.
that's right. Okay. I'm hyper. I'm excited. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
ready to make money. I come up. I'm the listing agent for this. And I'm gonna buy it. And I did not even run any kind of numbers either. I'm just gonna buy it because what I learned is that owning any real estate is better than owning nothing, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
right. So that's what they taught you. So that's what I exactly did. Single family, 5 beds, 2 baths, one stall garage. 179. My numbers were all backwards, by the way.
Yeah.
So if I recall correctly, the rental in this market was only around 1,200, but my mortgage payment was 1,400. 1,400. Can you believe that? Not
Yeah,
only that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
this is the period where you could purchase 0 down, 80/20, which means the first mortgage is 80 and the
Yeah.
second mortgage is 20, so 0 down. So
Yeah.
that's what I did too.
Oh, okay.
$179,000, and I
Yeah.
was gonna rent this at a negative number of $200, without even calculating the losses of utilities
Yeah.
and if there are damages as well too.
So then what was the
What was the
outcome?
outcome, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What was the
What
outcome?
happened to it? Yeah, you
So,
bought this thing, zero down. Sure, you got zero down, but then after that you lose a guaranteed $200 a month, but then you still have like
negative.
utilities, like
Uh-huh.
capex, maintenance, all this other stuff.
That's
So
right.
so what what
You're right.
happened after 2 months?
Right.
Yeah.
So I held this property for over a year, okay?
Oh
And I
wow.
was negative.
Yeah.
But my positive thinking was saying that, well, one day you will sell it. One day you will sell it, okay?
Uh huh.
And even if it's negative, It's okay. Go make more money and pay for those.
Yeah.
So I rented it out. And I was so rookie that I rent this property to two other families after without screening.
Oh.
Okay? Without screening. To me, hey, my numbers are $1,400. That's the mortgage and everything.
Yeah.
I just need somebody to come in here so that, the most I'm losing is $200 a month.
Yeah.
So then I got the first family in. They damaged the house and everything. I tried to evict them. I evicted them, and I lost because I had nothing in writing. So in the eyes of the law, they always favor who? The tenants over the landlord.
Yeah.
So that one got away. Plugged in another tenant. I was desperate at this time. Okay, so I plugged in another tenant. Also did not screen. Okay, still numbers are still negative.
Yeah.
Fast forward a couple months later, too much, criminal activities there. Evicted them. Guess what? I lost again. This time I had documentations, but I lost because my documentations weren't that detailed. So when I went to court, they were low income family, so their attorney was free. And so now they said that if I want to fight the case all the way, I have to hire an attorney. That means that they have an advantage over me big time, right? Because they're going to take it all the way to court. They're going to take it all the way. The court's going to win. They're losing no dime. And so then I just agreed to expunge it.
Yeah.
Boo, right? And then they just left. And then this is the time when the market turns around and started to crash right here, okay?
Yeah.
Let's say about 2005, so held it 2007, and then leaned until right about 2008. So the market crashed right here. Now the mortgage is completely upside down.
Yeah.
Ooh, ouch. Right? Completely upside down. Negative cash flow, and the mortgage is completely upside down. Yeah. Now what? What do I do, right? Yeah. Everybody's throwing their houses away. You talk to this friend, okay, I threw 10 houses away. Talk to this guy, I just threw mine away. Talk to this one, yeah, I just went foreclosure. Talk to this one, I just threw mine away. Shoot, what should I do? Should I just foreclose in it too because I'm completely negative?
How do you sleep? How do you sleep at night at this point? Go through 2 evictions. You don't know anything. You didn't screen your tenants. So I
didn't. Rookie mistake. Don't do that, okay? Don't ever do that. Yeah. And so by luck, okay? Now I started researching, and at this point, this was when I happened to come across a few investors that I saw that they were still flipping deals. They're buying these REO deals somehow, okay?
Yeah.
By networking with them, searching public records, I'm seeing that their mortgages are attached to some lien holders. And these lien holders, they don't sound familiar. They're not Wells Fargo. They're not, U.S. Bank. They're not the correspondent lenders that we know of today. They were hard money financing companies like Red Dirt to Pine Financials. Then I started looking at it. What are these? What the heck are these? And that's when I started learning about Pine Financials. But during this time, I'm sure a lot of you guys know who Pine Financials are.
Yeah.
And Sean Blomquist and Kevin. During that time, Sean didn't work for them yet. It was directly with Kevin. So called Kevin, who flies down here, meets with me at Caribou, tells me all about this, of the program they have. They don't have an office here, and they're willing to work with investors who are serious. I'm okay. Is this?
So you were there when they were like started out.
I was. Yeah. Okay. So I was right from the beginning, right when they start off. And then I brought him my deal here. I told him that, look, I have a deal. It's completely negative, okay? Can I come back and buy this deal at today's market value using hard money financing?
Yeah.
So he says, okay, hard money, we are Pine Financials. We're hard money. We don't go by the rules and regulations that traditional financing goes through. If you can make the numbers work under 70% ARV, we'll do it for you. So then I quickly went out there, structured an entity, came back and made an offer on my house. Okay? Right? On my house.
Yeah. You buy your own house.
That's right. Yeah. And during this time, short sales were new. Okay, it's not like right now. They're new, and banks, even some banks didn't know what short sales was. And even some banks didn't have departments for it. Yeah. I made an offer to buy my property for $57,000 because at this time, homes around were only selling around, like the bank owns, were only selling around that price range. And guess what? The lender, my original lender, approved of the short sale at $57,000.
Oh, wow.
$57,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Pine Financials, they agreed to, okay, well, if you got it for $57,000 and you can resell this around the 130, 140 range after resell, we'll finance the deal for you, zero down and all the cost repairs. So they did that, and we closed on the deal. Guess what? I just saved myself from a horrible nightmare. Okay,
Yeah.
from a horrible nightmare. And it's and the more of this is because, one, yes, I did have hope. Most people will probably let it go. That's what a lot of people actually did. Even I myself almost let it go too. But at the same time, because of the hope, that study, the consistently meeting other people to see what they're doing, what they're knowing. I happened to fall by luck to hard money financing with Sean and them, which led me to this direction, and was able to fund it and renegotiate with the bank and bought us a short sale for $57,000.
Right.
The difference forgiven by the original lender.
Yeah.
And then about a few months later, turn it around for about $136,500.
Okay.
Sold it for 136, and that's where the real profit was. And that's when I realized, okay, I think I'm a better investor now, not like before.
I think you're a good investor in the sense that when the market was going to the market was going down,
Yeah,
everything was just like bad.
against you too.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you went to you went network, right? You went out and search for people, and that's how you find Pine Financials to help you solve this issue, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's what we all have to do, right? If
You're right. You have to hang.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. See, there's a lot of emotions involved when it comes to the loss of money. Okay, wherever you invest money in, and especially in real estate where it's a hard asset too. There's many times where you're going to have self-doubt. There's many times that we're going to run across those individuals who didn't do too well, and they're going to tell you that this is a loss. It's going to scare you, especially when you're new or when you're in a panic mode.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to separate yourself from such environment and go network and be with those who are actually doing well at the current moment.
Yeah.
Those who still have that positive thoughts, those who actually are living proof, and those who can still tell you or give you hints and ideas that actually this is what you could still do, and believe in those and believe in yourself and just keep going.
Yeah.
And be convinced by influenced by those instead of being pulled down by those that are telling you that no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You know what I mean? And yes, there are times that there are ideas that won't work, but you still have to stay focused and be with those, because it's the positive energy momentum that's feeding on you, that's giving you hope to continue to keep on going forward, pushing forward. This one day you attract all these luck that's coming your way, and suddenly it seems like you're a lucky person, but realistically it's because the law of attraction that you're using the positive momentum, all the people that's positive, and giving you the strength and courage to continue to move on.
Yeah. So that's great. So do you recommend someone starting out to buy a negative $200 cash flow property like you did?
No way! Don't do that same mistake.
Don't do that story together.
You're right. All right. See, the one thing that a lot of new investors, okay, even agents with us that are newer, and I see this mistake is you're really excited, you want to get your foot wet, and you'll buy anything and everything just because you want to get your foot wet. Okay, be patient. Okay, the success of people knows one thing. It is to be patient for the right deal. And let me give you an idea. Okay, or an analogy.
Yeah.
You see, like a cheetah. We all know what a cheetah is. Fastest land animal, right, on the planet. Could catch anything it wants if it wanted to. But the cheetah doesn't. It waits for the weakest antelope to run by, and it goes after that weakest antelope. 100% accuracy, gets it, right?
Yeah.
See, for us, especially when you're investing, you got to do the same thing. You got to be patient. And wait for the right deal. It's not about, okay, I see a whole bunch of deals that I want to get my foot wet, so I'm just going to go buy anything and everything. You got to wait for the right one, because it's probably the right one, that one with the margin that's going to either make it or break it. Your first deal, you're either going to make it and build the confidence and continue to go forward, or it's going to break you, say, no, I'm out of this game. I'm going to go sell some products. I'm going to do something else, or go back to work, right? So be patient. Don't, just because you want to get your foot wet, don't do it. Be patient to find the right deal. Secondly, network as much as you possibly can. There are more people out there, believe it or not, there are more people out there who's willing to share with you what they know.
Yep.
Share with you resources. You just got to network with the right ones, and keep striving for it, be positive, keep your concentration for it, and eventually it'll help you. It'll help you get through it one after another. Then you'll get better and better and better and better.
Yeah. And even if you did a bad deal, don't give up. Like go network and meet
Right.
people and call Steven up and take him to lunch.
Yeah. Pay for lunch, okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pay for lobster and steak, and then he'll help you out and
Help me.
restructure your deals. So,
That's right.
what about other deals like this? We were talking about some bad deals that you done, and the reason we do that is because to me, I feel like we learn more from our bad deals, right?
Always.
And it's
Always.
not like, and I want to clarify, Steven has done a lot of deals, so it's not like he doesn't have any awesome, great deals. He has a bunch.
Yeah.
We can't go through all his deals, or we're gonna be here forever. So,
Yeah. Right. So
what's
yeah,
another? What's
thanks to
what's another deal that you
okay,
done?
bad turn, right?
Yeah,
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 so thanks a lot too. And those of you who are the audiences, again, too is right. And before we met to do this show, I told too that instead of talk about all the success stories, which most people already does that. Let's talk about all the horror stories, all the bad ones. Because if you would just eliminate the not to dos, I guarantee you'll even go further too. Instead of just the checklist of what to do, also have a checklist of what not to do. So that's what we're talking a lot more about, the bad deals, okay? So that you can have a list of not to do. Here's one. This is a funny one, okay? And I think that you guys might laugh at it, or you guys might enjoy it. And this is a real horror story one though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real horror story. I mean, literally horror story.
So is this a single duplex, triplex, or what type of
single
deal?
family?
Single family.
Single family. So right about 3 years ago, I say roughly about 3 years ago, maybe even 4 years ago, and some individuals who are listening, you guys may remember this. I ran across, at this point, I was really confident, okay?
Yeah.
I've done quite a few deals, really confident, in and out. I feel that, I'm on top of the world. So the confidence level is there.
Again.
On top of the world, and nothing can stop me, okay? As long as I don't die or go to jail, it's all good, right? I'm going to take the risk all in.
Yeah.
I come across this deal, okay? And it's a beautiful Rambler, vacant, completely vacant. And it was located on Earl at this time. It's one of those that you just know that, because in St. Paul, we know that Ramblers are probably like the hottest properties that will sell for.
Yeah.
Get the max dollars.
Yeah.
Here's this Rambler. I go in there with my approval letter, hard money, financing whatsoever, and I throw in an offer, all in, okay? As is, as is, no contingencies, no inspections, no appraisals. We close in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, and I won't even take a commission. Okay, I'm an agent, but I'm not gonna take the commission. You as a listing agent, you keep the full commission just so that I get this deal. Guess what? I was the winner. But here's the turning point.
How much did you offer and got it for?
This one I can't quite remember, but I believe it was around like 80 or 89, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah, and the ARV was around like the not two, but the 189, 160, 170, 189.
Yeah.
So, and the repairs, based on looking at the repairs, it was going to cost around just about $20,000 of repair. Yeah. So I got this deal under contract. I'm the winner, ready to celebrate.
Yeah.
I walk into this house during daylight with my measurement tape. I walk into the place. I started measuring, okay? So I started measuring the rooms. And as I was slowly walking and measuring, I could sense electric in my hair. Okay? You guys know where I'm heading towards, right?
Yeah, your hair starts like going up.
Right, my hair starts going up. And then here, I feel like I'm seeing a shadow on my right side. I turn around. Okay, so I turn around. Is there a shadow there? No, there isn't. But then on top of my head, I could already feel the electricity going through my head.
Yeah.
And so I stopped for a few minutes. I go to the next room. I did the same thing, measured it. I felt the exact same thing once again.
Yeah.
And then I decided to go down to the basement, which is really, really dark. And I really, really, really felt it out there. It's dark. So I thought to myself, maybe I should leave, come back with somebody else later. So I left the place.
Wait, you were there by yourself?
I was by myself.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. Okay.
It's broad daylight. So I left the place. I walked and I left the place. And then I remember a story a week prior to buying this property. I had a buddy of mine, a close friend of mine, who told me that there was a neighbor of his that died in the house and was not found for about 2 weeks. Okay. And then
Uh-huh.
I called him. I called him up. Hey, remember that story you shared with me? Where was this house located? So he gave me the address. It was next door to him.
Uh-huh.
Okay. It was next door to him. And when I looked at the address, it was the exact address that I bought it. It's that
Oh
house.
shoot.
So immediately I went there and I went to talk to the neighbors. Are there any deaths in this house? Is there anything? So I spoke to 3 neighbors and they all verified, that there was a death that occurred and that individual was not found till a couple of days later. So to me, at that point, okay, at that point, so I don't know about you guys. Some of you may not care if there's deaths or not. But
Yeah.
now, of course, knowing that there are deaths, I know that the future buyers are going to ask for not only that, but I'm not going to stay out there late and work on this house.
Yeah.
And so, I went back to the listing agent, told the listing agent that I'm out. I just don't want this to do anymore. He says, but you have no contingency. I said, I know, keep the $2,000 earnest money. I'm out. I have no
Uh-huh.
explanations. I'm out. So then I just walked out and I forfeited $2,000. So
Oh,
my point to this, guys, is, it's going to be, it's going to be confident, but don't be so overconfident too. You
yeah.
could, you could
Yeah,
go into
so you didn't even care to research this property.
I didn't care
You
to
just
research
like,
because
I
I
got
tell
this.
you whatever. The numbers
Yeah.
work. I'm throwing and I'm going all in, because I know it's gonna work, Keep
Yeah.
my commissions. I don't care, I'll pay for whatever that needs to be paid for. I
Yeah.
just want to be all in, no contingencies, no nothing. That's what I did. But then I didn't realize that what was gonna backfire me had nothing to do with the house.
Yeah. 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 So there are other factors to
The other factors.
other than just the number.
That's
Right.
right. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's good to know. Even if like you're a superstar, always check and do your research, guys.
Right. That's right. That's right. I mean, some of you maybe it's not something that will frighten you or make you back out there, but realistically, to some, there are some that they will. Like even
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
then not only that, but your future buyers as well too. You will have future buyers who, now that you know about it, you will have to disclose that as well too. And
Yeah.
then you will have some future buyers who maybe have some spiritual beliefs that they won't, buy the property as well too. So
Yeah.
it's just the more that story too. It's always good to be confident, but at the same time, don't be overconfident with any deals that you get into as well.
Yeah. 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 So then, I mean, that's a good, don't be overconfident. Yeah, I
Right,
think
right,
I'm at that phase now where I'm like, oh, just, yeah, I think I need to always check my details,
right.
dot my I's and cross my T's, Um, what about like, how are you? I mean, you're at, you're at this massive level now. So how are you like going from, doing single deals and, just, into like scaling your brokerage firm, but you're also still flipping a bunch of houses. So
Right,
how
right.
how are you
So
able? Are you doing this by yourself? Are you like,
no,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
all
So how are you able to do all this stuff?
right. So thanks for that question there. In the beginning, we usually think about personal production. Yeah.
Yeah,
If we're gonna invest, we're gonna do it alone. If we're gonna sell homes, we're gonna do it alone. If we're gonna structure deals, we're gonna do it alone. Not just in real estate, but in general.
yeah,
Into other industry as well. We're gonna do it all alone. Not only that, but we have this mentality in the beginning with the mindset that I don't trust anybody's work. Nobody could do it better than me, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
so we have that. And last but not least, we have that. I don't want to share what I know to anybody. What if
uh,
they surpass me? Okay,
yeah,
or what if they know my tricks and trades?
yeah,
So in the beginning, that's our typical mentality and mindset. But what that does, and what I have learned over the years, is that also becomes a growth barrier. Okay, by
oh, okay,
doing flying solo, by doing it alone, because one of the biggest true reason that why we all get into business and real estate and to become entrepreneurs, because we want to be free. Okay, we want to be able to have more time with our family and friends. Aside from just the wealth side aspect, we want that kind of freedom. But doesn't it seem like the more we do, the busier we get, and the less time we actually have for our friends and family? It does,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. You're
And
trading
so,
like a you're trading like a 8 hour day job to like a
That's right.
18-hour day, 18 hours a
18
day.
without any benefits too, right?
Yeah, with no
Right.
benefits.
Without
Yeah,
benefits. Yeah. So then now you're working even harder,
yeah,
and your business actually owns you. You don't own your business. You're not being able to even have any time with your wife or your kids, or it
yeah.
defeats the whole purpose of this. So the question comes back to you is, and how are you, Stephen, juggling, with this many agents, and you guys are able to still push this many deals, and you are still able to go out there and do investing and do other stuff, right? So
Uh-huh.
it comes back to, which is really important for those of you, who's in this phase of transitioning from doing personal uh, activities where you feel like you're at plateau. You're growing, but at the same time, you're also feeling like you're not going to the next level because it looks like your time is always needed. When you're on vacation, you always have to be in your phone, or else deals won't go the way it does. Go back first of all to revisit the story in the cash flow quadrant, the beginning story where Robert Kiyosaki talks about the two individuals who carry buckets. Okay, one carries buckets and one builds a system.
Yeah.
That applies. There's some truth to that. Okay, even when I came and rebuilt, restructured, created results here with my business partner Billy, the first year or two, we took a huge loss. Okay, we took a huge loss on what we would have typically made doing personal productions.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and why is that? It's because a lot of the deals and leads we gave it out.
Uh-huh.
We took a step back and told ourselves that why don't we take the next year or two here to just build a system. Okay,
Yeah.
pinpoint all the systems. What's needed? What department is needed to handle finance? Which department is needed to kind of help support agents and staffs?
Mm-hmm.
Which department is needed for gathering documents of paperwork? And which department is needed to help train? Which department is needed to help go out in the field and help with construction stuff?
Uh-huh.
So we took that hit of the 1 year of reduction, which is something that most people or most business individuals who are transitioning from independent to a cash flow entrepreneur
Uh-huh.
aren't willing to do. Because when you're looking at that, on top of your head, immediately what you're thinking is that I'm taking a huge haircut, a huge loss.
Yeah.
Why am I doing so? I need this income. But realistically, after taking this loss for the first year or two, and you get your system in place, your system now operates your business, and you pull yourself out, and you're able to actually do more, and you're just plugging more and more people in. The more people you plug in, the more they bring deals in,
Yeah.
not just from the buy sell side, but the more they're finding deals out there that you can also partner up with. So now it becomes, instead of you're getting 100% of everything, you're getting like 10%, 20%, 30%, 50% per deal, per transactions. But in the long run, you're getting volumes and volume, right
Yeah.
back to Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow, story where the guy, is distributing buckets and buckets of waters, but worldwide, nationwide, for 10 cents each, but it's nationwide. But then
Yeah.
now he's free. They have the ability to do other things.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so for those of you who's listening to this, I know that it's a hurdle that you will hit, okay? Eventually you will hit.
Yeah.
And when you hit here, it's the feedback that you should tell yourself is, first of all, applaud yourself. Be glad that you're here, because you're at the point where you're either going to be stuck there
Uh-huh.
and get burnt out and stay there, continue to be the one-man band, do everything, or
Yeah.
you're going to cross the borderline, okay? You're going to cross right past the success, the borderline, and build that system, and let the system build your business, so you actually have more time for yourself to do other things, to really live the true life of an entrepreneur, and to
Yeah.
truly live the true life of what a cash flow investor really is.
Yeah. So you didn't want to be a solopreneur. You want to be an
No, I did not want to be a
entrepreneur.
solopreneur. You get that? I was a solopreneur from 2005 all the way until 2013, 14,
Oh, okay.
And I went in circles, It didn't matter how
Yeah.
hard I tried. Every year I felt like, okay, I'm right back to where I was last year. And
Uh-huh.
then reset. I'm right back to where I was again last year. So, as time goes by, we age. Of course, we
Yeah.
age. From the 20s to the 30s, you have lots of energy.
Yeah.
I wasn't married at that time, didn't have kids at that time, so more time. Okay, you were able to do more things.
Yeah.
In your 30s to like 35s, now you're married, you have kids.
Yeah.
There's more responsibilities. your vision starts to change a little bit. You want more time with your family, your friends, and then over time, as you get older, you're gonna hit another change of mentality, philosophy as well too. But
Yeah.
if you don't take time to truly build a system for yourself, then eventually you're gonna plateau. And this includes everything, even like rehabs.
Yeah.
If you don't have a system for rehabs, you're all over the place, even if
Yeah.
it's just one deal, right? But if you have a system for rehabs, you're not all over the place. You have all the right people in place, which means that you can double it up, which means that you can partner with 3 to 4 different people and maybe do a 50-50 split, and one on your own that's personal, but then you have a system in place. Same goes with anything in general, okay? So it's the system that you have to truly operate the system and let the system operate your business. Then you'll be free.
So speaking of rehabs, you're also a general contractor, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then I don't service clients though. The difference is that I don't service clients.
Yeah.
And pros and cons. I use in the beginning when I first got my general contractor's license, my thought was to provide services for clients, and I did that for like the first year. But I got kind of burnt out. I realized that it wasn't my bucket. Okay, it wasn't what I wanted to do. Going out there and service clients, it's just I just didn't like that side of it. Plus, I felt that if I was going to put that much effort and energy, why not just do it for my own properties? So then, after a year, I shift gears right back. And your brother, your sister, they know this, And then now it shifts gears, and it's just right back into my personal investing, my personal rehabs, or the rehabs that I do with my partners, agents, to anybody out there who partners with us. Then I use them more for just that purpose now, which means that I don't have employees or anything, and everybody is all just subbed out.
So how do you get over the fact, since you actually do some of these, before you did some rehab, now you have a team going. How do you get over this fact of like, hey, you cannot do it better than I can? How do you, like give it up some of your control over some of the rehab stuff? Like how do you give that up? I still struggle with some of those issues. I'm like, oh, I gotta check all these details, but how do you kind of like transition that?
I ran across, I can't recall who said this, but it's a very successful individual. I can't exactly remember who it was, but he said that, I think it was Donald Trump.
That's fine.
Says that you have to be willing to hire the people that's way better than you to fill in those positions, okay? And and then my thought process was, he's right. There's a truth to that. So of course I explored that, and using even the brokerage side is, I'm not the best accountant right now. Okay. I hate papers and books, but my accountants, they're the best here. Okay. They're on top of the game. I'm not the best, receptionist. I'm not the best photographer. I'm not the best videographer. I'm not the best of those. But then I could do it if I want to, but I know that I'm not the best at those. However, I'm willing to delegate these to the people who are way better than me. Okay. And if I delegate these to these specific areas and they're better than me, and I become more of just one that's kind of directing, making sure that we're going to the right direction, then we'll be able to move, and it frees me time. Then that carried over to the rehab side as well too, that I'm not the best plumber. Asia is. Okay? He's way better. He knows his stuff. I'm not the most patient framer. I'm not the best installator. I'm not the best this and that. I have these, and not only that, but I'm not doing this full time. I'm not waking up like around 5 a.m. and stuck at the house all the way until 9 p.m. and come home. I have other people that I'm working with, other deals I'm working with, so I can't be there. However, I have, I have the project managers who are extremely good, and that's all they do, morning to night. They're passionate. What if it's delegating to these guys and have them do it, and trust in their skill sets, because they work with you for quite some time, so they know your style, and then just be the one to kind of like find here and there, but not interfering so much with their creativity as well too. Allowing them to use their creativity. Like for instance, I have tile guys. Okay, he's probably this career is here as well too. And when they're doing tiles, the only thing I'm doing is that this is the kind of design I kind of want. But you use your creativity, and let's bless your creativity. When you're done with it, I trust in you. We'll just keep it. So I don't interfere much. I let them maximize what they need to do so that I can back up and be the investor that I need to be.
Yeah.
Instead of being the individual there that's doing those work when I'm not that passionate the way they are that passionate, when I don't really have the time to be there the way they really have the time to focus and do that. As long as the job gets done, the numbers are working, going according to plan, we sell, everybody makes profit, those guys who works makes profit, I make profit, we win, move on to the next deal.
Yeah, so you want your actual team members to get paid well.
That's
You get
right.
your partners to make money,
That's
right?
right.
Yeah, that's
That's
the
right.
best way for you to make money, to make sure
That,
everyone
that,
else
that's
makes
that's
money.
yeah, that's correct. And as a true entrepreneur, that's how you think like, because instead of what I've learned, and one thing to take from this too, for those of you who are getting to, investing, is don't look at, your workers, your rehabber workers, your tiling guy, your carpet guy. Don't look at these individuals, as, I'm going to milk them. I'm going to pay them as low as possible so I can maximize my profit. Or you're not come to work, so you're horrible whatsoever. You look at these individuals as they're all a part of your team and your partner. Because of them, your deal is going to get done. And
Yeah.
you treat them with respect. You treat them with, you pay them for what they get, what they're worth, and you treat them as a friend. And so when you inspire them, you influence them, so that they know that together we're working on this project as a team. And when it goes live, when it goes on the market, we all feel good that we all put our own talents into it. So by doing so, you have loyal workers. Okay, you have
Yeah.
these loyal workers who has pride in their work. They're gonna go all in, put their work into it as well too, and they will always put you in priority as well too. They have like other jobs, and you call them in the middle of the night. Hey, Asia, my plumber, my
Yeah.
plumber is dead. He's gonna leave his place. He's gonna run there. Okay, Steve, I'll hook it up for you.
Yeah.
So then, so you want to treat them with respect and encourage them and let them know that you're my partner. If I take a loss in this, and that means that we're all taking losses as well. To not just because you guys are taking losses, I'm the only one who's gaining. It's not how it works. You're an entrepreneur, and you want everybody to benefit from it. And you also look at this, that the world or the community or the marketplace, they rely on you, the one that comes up with the idea that's providing jobs, that's providing opportunities for contractors, workers, agents, licensees, and building a better place for the community and the neighborhood.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's great. We went over time a little bit already, and
You
so
did.
I said we still have so much questions to ask. If you don't
All
mind,
right, all right.
can you
We
answer
can just
some?
do the questions.
Yeah,
I
a few
think we
more
can jump
questions.
down to the questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and what I would say is that if you guys want Steve back,
For a
just
different subject, that's right
yeah,
too.
let us know. Oh yeah, my sister's here. Yeah, my sister Shua in Asia, they're the best plumbers. So
Yes.
message him. Uh, he's able to fix, like, well, I don't do plumbing work. It takes me a long ass time to do plumbing work. He's quick, so I'll reach out to him. Or my sister. A shameless plug for them. Yeah, if you guys want Steve back, I have a bunch more questions to ask him. But if you guys want him back, like, share, comment, and say you guys want him back. I think, let's say if we get 500 likes, you'll come back. 5 or 1,000.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So like, share, and let us know if you guys want him back. He'll be. I'll try to get him back in a few weeks or so. So we can ask him more questions. Let's do this. Before I even go to because I did a post a few days ago, and people have been asking a bunch of questions to you.
Yes.
But before we get there, if you guys have any questions, write it in the live stream now too, and we'll try to get to those questions. So another 15 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes. Are you okay with that?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. But before we get there, I wanted to know this because it's my personal questions to you. How are you able, because I'm trying to be healthy, me and my wife's okay, but I'm trying to be healthy. I'm working like non-stop, right?
Okay.
And I'm trying to run my real estate business and my helping other people, being an agent, all that stuff too.
Right.
I'm trying to be healthy. So how are you? What's your schedule like? How are you able to run two successful company, and still have time to like hang out with me like this, and still work out, and still talk to people and still help people and still throw like a big ass party like you did a few weeks ago too. How do you? What's your routine like? What's your schedule like?
Right. So, to answer that, health and wellness, to me, it's as important, as my career is, real estate career is.
Uh-huh.
So I actually turned fitness and working out into an actual lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
So, which means that, without working out, I can't really properly function. Okay, so it's not just a short-term goal that I'm going to try to lose weight or try and be fit in the next 5 months or the next like 90 days whatsoever. At a point, I got disgusted of myself. I felt like I was a slob, and I felt like I wasn't thinking right, and I just felt really out of shape. That was back in 2008, and I took some time to do some self-research to how to be more of an individual who could keep in shape. So nowadays, every single morning around 5 to 5:30 a.m., I'd wake up. I'd be up by then, okay? So if you guys message me around 5:30 a.m., trust me, you get a message back.
Wake up early,
And
huh?
yeah, right.
Okay.
And so between 5 to 5:30 a.m., I typically go to the gym. Okay, I'll go to my gym is LA Fitness. So I would normally go to the LA Fitness and work out for at least like 2 hours worth. If I don't do that, then I'll go jog. And I always alternate those. And
Wait, so you work
you
out
can
for 2 hours?
yes, yeah, every morning.
Wake up early.
Every morning. And it has become a lifestyle right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So I cannot function without working out. Okay? I have to, even when we're on vacation and everybody's ready to go out and to party, or everybody's ready to go out and do some activities, I'll tell everybody to wait. Hold on, let me just go get a quick jog first, and then we'll catch up. Okay, so it has become a lifestyle. Secondly, it's the discipline of the eating habits. And by doing so, I've eliminated the eating habits of like carbs. So I'm like a straight protein type of eating, and breaking those down. No carbs, no sweets, no bread, no pasta, none of those. Because what I've learned is this, prosperity. Okay, wealth of prosperity. The true meaning of prosperity for me is a balance of wealth. Of course, wealth. Your health, your spiritual being, your financial education, and relationships. If you are wealthy in one area but that you bankrupt in another, you're still not quite prosper, because you have all the money in the world, but you're not health-wise. You're sick. You're not feeling well. Or you could be really, really, really fit. Okay, really, really in shape, but then you're financially bankrupt, and then now it's not balanced all over again, right? But you can have those, but you don't have any good relationships at all, not even at home. So then now there's no prosperity. So there has to be balance. So when I went to keep myself disciplined and to keep myself going, that's what I do with my health and wellness in the beginning, in the morning. But that also sets the tone and the stage for the rest of the day. Yeah. Because by the time I'm out, I feel alive, alert. And from the 8 a.m. to 12 or 1 p.m., most of the things that I need to get done, I'm already done with by 12 or 1. All the paperwork I need to, any trainings I need prep, any meetings that I plan to meet, it's early in the morning. All those are done by the time it hits 12. And I have the rest of the day to plan for tomorrow, or to go on the field with agents, or to go on to take someone else to go search for deals, or prep or pre-plan, prep for our next event. So it kind of positions me for all of those day by day, and it becomes like a lifestyle. One after another. But then I always take a day or two off too. So like, for instance, Sundays, like today, it's usually my day off completely. Yeah. Because you also need that day there to just refocus and spend time with your family, of course, and just relax as well too.
Yeah, yeah. So like for 4 hours, you're like from 8 to 12, you're like strictly taking care of all the business that you can.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and then in the afternoons, when do you kind of like shut down? When do you stop, or you continue going? Well, like how's that?
Yep. So in the afternoon, I usually, right from like 12 to about 1, sometimes I take a nap, okay?
Okay.
Because I wake up so early by 5 a.m., okay? So then by like midday, I do get crashes too, just so you guys know. So I take like, 20, 30 minutes naps if need to. But then I come back out, and if agents or whoever needs help, then I come back out on the field. But then I will stop. Now I would typically stop by around 5 or 6 p.m. I'm done. And for the rest of the evening, for the rest of the evening, I'm just back home. Or, if someone still needs help, then I'm back out. Or, Tuesdays we have what's called mastermind trainings, specific events. So sometimes I'm back here at the office for that as well. Or, during the construction or during rehabs, and I'm out there to see who needs help with what, or needs some form of directions, or maybe do a few runs to Menards. But then I typically try to shut down by 6 or 7, so that I really have that evening for myself to be able to just think things through and strategize and just self-cope.
Yeah, and probably spend some time with your family and stuff at that point.
Right.
Yeah. So then this goes to the next question already. Someone already asked. Thao is asking. So then, when do you usually go to sleep?
Nobody go to sleep by like 10.
Oh, you sleep at 10 p.m. to sleep. I'm trying to get my wife and us to sleep earlier, like around 10.
It actually helps. Yeah.
Yeah,
If you could,
so
see, in the beginning when I was like a lot younger, I usually stay up until like 1 or 2, and then I'll wake up by like 5 or 6. But and that's because my team was a lot smaller as well too, so it really needed my full attention on everything I do. So I really needed the full concentration, the focus, and to be everywhere. So I spent less time sleeping during that time. Plus, I didn't have kids, so I could, do whatever. Yeah. But then as time went by and I rebuilt a system to kind of help out those, I actually, and with kids too, they take a lot of your energy as well too. Then by 10, I try to shut down completely. So that by 5, because 10 to 5, that's a lot of hours. But if I'm up by 5, I have plenty of hours for the rest of the day to do what I need to do. Yeah. And then, especially the morning phase, I have more than enough that I need to do there. So I try to sleep by like 10 or 11 at the latest every night.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. I'm gonna try to wake up early.
Wake up early. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And if you want, just come to the gym with me too.
Oh yeah. All right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'll hit you up on that.
All right.
Okay. If you guys want, please ask your questions for Steve. We'll spend maybe another 5-10 minutes asking questions. And if you guys are joining us, if you're watching this later on YouTube, go ahead and leave your comments below. I'll get or questions below. I'll get that to Steve to answer those questions. Let me go ahead and ask these that they posted. Let me see. Shua, my sister. Shua says, "What motivates you to keep going, and what do you tell yourself at times when you're about to give up?"
Sure. There's been 2 points in my life. One is now and one is prior. Okay, and the first one, actually, I'll say three. The first one is, of course, growing up. Like everyone, we didn't grow. I myself didn't grow up from a wealthy family where we had everything. Okay, and so growing up from the projects. That's where I grew up from, and then to the east side, and then just a typical average, life where you think that everything is just a dream. It's unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
It's not realistic. And then, of course, after experiencing real estate deals in the beginning here, kind of stretched my vision, and by learning through Robert Kiyosaki and many others, books and audios and seminars I went to, it helped me believe in dreams that if you work hard enough, you can achieve and live those dreams. So that first phase there kept me going. Okay, but then fast forward, years later, when the market crashed. Okay, when the market crashed and everybody hit a setback, including myself. I got so disgusted of my situation, of myself, that am I gonna seriously just be this individual who is gonna give up completely, or am I going to continue to live the dream? Because this is not the lifestyle I want. It's not the lifestyle I want for my future wife. At that time, I wasn't married. For my future wife, for my kids. So that in itself, made me kept going one more round. Okay, so I kept on going one more round, pushed me to the next round.
Yeah.
And then now, fast forward to today's current, right now, today's current place right now, or right now, this current moment. Now I have 2 kids, okay, little girls. Now they're the drive, they're the motivation. All my dreams and goals is no longer on me now, okay? It has suddenly shift gears to the girls. And it shift gears to girls. It's telling me that, Stephen, if you don't hustle hard, these kids, one day, they're going to grow up and they're going to want things. They're going to want cars. They might have some dreams that require funding. They might have other things that they need from you. And I don't want to be a struggling parent to the point where they're going to grow up wanting things that I cannot get it for. So it keeps me going. And so these are my motivations that just pushes me, when things get tough, or when I feel like quitting, or when I feel like, I lose motivation. What's the whole purpose of even working so hard for, And I think back to it, and then, I do always revisit from the beginning, the second phase, and also the phase right now as well too, that these are the 3 drives that's going to keep me going. And I believe that in the next maybe 5-10 years, it may be a new thought process. It may be a new motivation that's going to keep you going. So myself going as well.
Yeah, that's great, right? I mean, like, we're all in different phases in our lives, right?
Right.
I just had a baby too, a baby girl also, and so
congratulations
in a way,
to you.
yeah, yeah, in a way, she's becoming like my new motivation, right? I'm constantly searching for. I mean, she doesn't know this. Maybe she'll listen to this in the future, but I'm constantly looking for a great property to purchase for her, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, in our different phases in lives, we had different things that might motivate us, and the trick.
You're absolutely correct. See, like before, the property is what I buy. It's under my entity, but now even my 2 girls, they have their own entity. They have their own business line of credit.
Oh,
they have properties. They have properties and they have lots that are under their entity already. They just don't know, right? But it's under their own entity.
Yeah. That's awesome. Let's see, my Fang, one of your top agents over there, says, "How do you keep agents motivated?"
How do you keep agents motivated?
Yeah.
Any agents like mine. Agents like mine. Yeah, so that's a good question. In the licensing business, or in the real estate sales side, we get burnt out really easily. We do. Okay, you're working with clients, a deal doesn't go through, or you feel that after working for X amount of time, the deal didn't work accordingly, or you don't feel appreciated. So agents, they get burnt out. Really, they do. Okay. A couple of things that we do here that's really different that you guys probably even see around is we tend to do events like New Year's kickoff or client appreciation. These bigger events to kind of keep the agents connected and feel value and be a part of us. So that when they're out there, they feel like okay, I'm not just a part of Creative Results, but I'm an actual person there. Or we give them the responsibility of being an actual leader themselves, so that then they feel value, that there's a place for them as well.
Yeah.
We do structure lots of trainings, like from here until the end of the year. We have mastermind trainings in-house, and giving the top agents a chance to come and train, or giving outsource other parties to come out and train as well too, to keep the agents going and motivated. And of course, I understand that sometimes you're so burnt out to the point that nothing motivates you anymore. But there are also times that these little details will help motivate you as well too. So for us, that's what we do. Recognition is a big piece. Value the agents is also a big piece. And you're right, but with a huge size of number of agents, I myself don't see agents every day. I see the ones that are more active, the ones that are always communicating, messaging me. Those are the ones that I'm able to communicate with the most and see. But the ones that I hardly hear from, those I hardly see those at all. So sometimes even when you try to do motivations for, I'm sure that they may have their own ways to get motivated as well, and aside from the way what we have.
Yeah, I mean, I was at your client appreciation party. Thanks for having us over there. But
for sure,
I mean, I'm not even your agent, and when I was there, I was motivated. So I just it's just like you're there, you see other agents are like making things happen, and you're like, oh, man, I gotta get back up there and like push myself a little bit harder, and like network a little bit, like things like that, So that helps.
You're absolutely correct. Too, because in the real estate business, many times we feel like we're alone. We're fighting the battle together all the time. Even if you're an investor or a realtor, you feel like you're always on your own, doing your own thing, and the rest of the world, you don't know where they are. And then you feel that anybody else who's in the business, you almost feel like they're just your competitor too. So you don't want to talk to them, they don't want to talk to you. But then when you have these kind of events, to let people know that actually, hey, let's unite together. Let's use our the momentum of our energy together. It becomes more like oxygen, where you're losing oxygen going on your own, and then you come right into this event, and then now you're relit. your fire's up and burning once again, and here you have the energy to go one more time. So yes, you're absolutely correct, and those are the kind of events that we put together, serving more than just a purpose of, this is what we're gonna provide over there, but giving the purpose of relighting people who's already drained and energy to have the flame right back on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that some of you guys asked some questions, and I might not get to it, but it's because we already kind of answered some of those questions. So I may not ask them. Uh, uh, Song He says, well, was there ever any deal that almost made you give up?
Oh, hold on, let me just hold on. Can you say that one more time?
Oh, were there any deals that made you almost like give up being a broker and being an investor?
It did, and there was the deal that I explained earlier,
Oh,
the one that I bought for negative cash flow, and then
oh,
when the market turned around and it went negative too,
yeah,
I thought about quitting,
yeah,
because that it was it was totally against me, and not only that it was a deal that was against me, but the market was against me.
yeah,
Everything, the trend was against me. The economy overall was still against me as well, and all your peers, whoever you talk to, dropped out of the industry
yeah,
already. So of course, even to myself during that period there, that deal itself, I almost quit as well too, just because of that deal. But I kept it going. And
yeah,
you have to remember that it's during those tough, ugly deals that'll make you go back to the drawing board. It's tough, ugly deals that will make you become better at what you do. It's never the really good ones. The really good ones will make you, you'll build a confidence in you, which is good. Sometimes make you overconfidence,
uh-huh,
which will cause more mistakes in the future. But it's those bad deals that you have to remember that
yeah,
there's always a pros, there's always a con, there's always a yin, there's always a yang.
yeah.
So there's always two sides, and it just makes you stay focused. So just continue to strive.
Yeah, so if any one of you out there is going through like a bad deal right now, or a deal that you want to give up, know that that's gonna be a learning stepping stone for you to make yourself more successful, right? Like in your case,
That's right.
that deal actually taught you about setting up entities,
That's
working
right.
with hard money lenders,
That's right.
renegotiating the
Success.
terms and everything like that. So,
That's
yeah,
right. There's a lesson for everything. So
yeah,
take it as a lesson. When you hit deals that becomes really, really complicated, that's the chance to think creative.
yeah,
Okay, that's a chance to figure out who should I talk to negotiate. How should I restructure this deal to make it work? So those are the deals that's supposed to teach you something.
yeah. Man, I have so many questions. or there's so many questions for you. Today. Sorry, I took so much time. Let me just do maybe two more, and then
Okay,
if you guys want more of Steven, or you
you guys
want him
can
to come
message me
back to the
directly too.
show, let us know, and we'll try to get him to come back. Um, we're almost at 2 hours, so that's why
What?
it went by quick. Chai Shong, Chai,
Guru,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, the famous guru. Yes,
Yeah, the famous
everybody knows
guru.
the guy.
That just says, what's the biggest lesson you learned so far?
Not to quit.
Not to quit. All
The
right.
biggest lesson is not to quit. Okay, remember that in order for you to be good at something, it's never the first 1 or 2 3 years. It's never the first 2 3 setbacks. It's when you do it long enough and you figure out all the ways that doesn't work,
Yeah,
all the ways that's gonna ruin you. And just
yeah,
keep on going forward. So my greatest lesson is not to quit, because I saw a lot of people that quit
yeah,
during the crash. And I almost quit myself.
yeah,
And even nowadays, right, like in 2019, the market has shifted to lack of supplies, but lots of agents. And when I'm looking up the MLS, I'm looking at people's individual productions. I'm seeing that most agents' productions are dropping down compared to last year and the year before. In different brokerages as well too, and which is going to tempt a lot of individuals to quit or drop out, or even investors that I come across. They're waiting for deals to occur to pick up. But last year, no deals for them. This year, no deals. So they're about to quit. They're about to
yeah,
give up and do something else. You can't quit. You're
yeah,
supposed to figure out exactly, okay, now the market has shifted. Things are getting tough. What am I gonna do? What do I need to do to find the deals that are hidden in the hidden markets, or the right deals? What I need to do. So definitely, that my answer to Chai's question there is just don't quit.
yeah,
When that's the hardest lesson.
yeah. Don't quit. Don't
Yeah,
quit. If you're gonna quit, go talk to Steve first. Pay for his lunch, and then
Yeah, we go to boot camp, right?
yeah. Key Vang says, so we're getting to some of the questions that were posted on the live stream today. What is it? Here's a technical question, so
Yes.
that someone could actually use. What does it mean when you say double closing? You talked about that earlier.
Yeah, double closing is a type of creative deal. It's actually wholesaling, okay?
Yeah.
And the real estate wholesale is when you make an offer to purchase a property with or without credit, with or without money, and then so that you have an interest, in there in the executed purchase contract, and you can resell that interest to a third party for a profit margin.
Uh-huh.
Nowadays, or what's more popular nowadays is just an assignment contract where they do the same thing, just assign the contract over. But here and there, you will still see deals where you do exactly what I mentioned here. And instead of using your own money, you're using either transitional money from a private investor, or you're using money from one of the parties, either the buyer or the seller that's involved in this transaction, to fund for the final deal, and you just walk away with the deal. So that when I say double closings, that's what I meant. But remember, double closes cannot occur if you're using traditional financing,
Yeah.
such as like FHA or conventional. It doesn't work. It has to be either private financing, hard, or cash, or a piece of paper, assigning the contract over. And the title closers, the title companies, they have to be in the game to understand the creative side of real estate investment as well too. If not, then most title companies, they won't even close a deal for you as well.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a creative strategy, right? To
Yes.
purchase. Okay, we'll leave it at this, and then I'll ask you some personal questions. Billy Thao says, "Are we close to a recession?" I want to hear your thoughts on this.
No, I wouldn't say so. And first of all, Billy, to answer this, I just want to let you know that I'm not a fortune teller.
You
but
don't have a
but
ball of like,
that's right.
yeah.
However, through experiences and through history, and I was there to witness the crash of between 2006 to 2008. It took a lot of factors to take down the actual market, the recession. From that period there, regulation changes in financing, no more subprime, you had to do
Uh-huh.
four documentations. The ARMS program that, adjusted, they adjusted it. We were in the middle of a war, okay, so
Uh-huh.
all the funding was across sea. We had a new president, and not the president wasn't just a new president, but it was the first African American president. So, there were doubts in the leadership, even though he's one of the best.
Yeah.
And school loans. So there are like so many different components all at once, hitting all at once. Stock market, setback, jobs, big corporations relocating to overseas. So
Yeah.
all of those occurred at once, to the point where layoffs are happening from left to right, and consumer spending. Everybody was afraid to spend money because they don't know if they're going to still have their job by next week.
Yeah.
So that in itself was strong enough to knock down the economy, okay?
Yeah.
But right now, I'm not seeing anything. Everybody's like happily out there spending money, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? And everybody's there. They have confidence. You're still seeing new small businesses, startups. You're still seeing people getting their licensing to do insurance or a stockbroker or real estate. You're still seeing people investing. You used to see people like my wife at Target who's always spending, right? And so they have that consumer spending confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me to say that is it going to crash, I don't really see that yet, and I'm not seeing any regulation changes at all. And even if there are, most people nowadays are being qualified based off real documentations,
Yeah.
real debt to income ratios, real pay stubs they can verify, real assets. So if there's regulation changes, or anything from the financing side, those individuals could still afford a house unless they get laid off. So
Yeah.
recession-wise, from my point of view, I just don't really see it coming anytime soon.
Yeah, especially in the real estate market, there's no more of those
Right.
weird subprime loans and these exotic arms and derivatives and stuff like that. So, I agree with what you said. So that's good. I think we're gonna call it there. In terms of asking questions, I know I did not get to everybody's questions. It's just that we cover so much, and we spent. Steven has been very generous with his time on his day off with us already, so I don't want to keep up any more time. Um, what do you do other than real estate?
Just real estate. Oh, there's really three things I do. Real estate is the primary one, of
Uh-huh.
course, because I built multiple streams of revenues all around it.
Yeah.
And then aside from that, I'm a huge diehard, as I mentioned to you earlier, huge diehard fan of health and wellness and fitness. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah.
I think I spend as much time and energy as I do on that side with I do with real estate. And then
Uh-huh.
the third thing is I trade the stock market.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you know the stock too. I have a buddy that yeah, he's doing really good there. But it's hard for me to grab my head around this, so I'll continue with my real estate stuff for now. What do you like to do for fun?
I don't know what's fun anymore.
I,
Yeah, I think fun for me. I guess fun,
I see your posts and stuff. It looks like you guys have fun.
I don't know if those are fun. Fun. I don't know. To be honest with you, my what I do as in terms of like real estate, that's my passion. So I have a
Uh-huh.
lot of fun with it. I have a
Yeah.
lot of fun with just work with people on the real estate side. But I would have to say maybe fun is when I really spend some time with do more of the fitness stuff on the side as hobbies.
Okay.
And sometimes I have like agents and friends and peers who comes with me to do more of fitness trainings as well. So I do a lot of those activities. I'm not an outdoor guys. I
Uh-huh.
don't really go hunting or fishing, none of those. I
Yeah.
don't just have patience to go fish or hunt.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know that if I do, I probably would, but try to shy away from it just because I know that I would be addicted to those.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to have too many distractions.
No, no.
Actually, what's a book that I mean? I know you read a bunch of books when you were getting started and stuff like that. If
Mhm.
someone wants to get started in this real estate industry path, what's a book other than Rich Dad Poor Dad? Because
Right.
that's a given. You should read that
That's
first.
a given. That's a given.
But
Right.
aside from that, what's a book that you might recommend someone to get started on?
Well, it depends. You have like there's two books or two areas we're talking here. We have the investing side, and then we also have like the real estate sell side.
Yeah.
So if you get into the real estate sell side, the one book that I do highly recommend that I'm currently reading right now is actually by Ryan Serhant. The
Oh
million
yeah,
dollar listing guy. Yeah,
yeah.
and it's his book. He has a very good book right now. Shoot, it just flew out of my head. But
It's a
his,
serial like Sirhan.
yeah, there you go,
Yeah,
there you go. That's a good
yeah.
book. Yeah. So
It's about reading
it's a
books.
great book. You're reading it too, right? It's
Yeah.
a great book. Okay, it's a fun book, easy to understand. Sharing about his trials at the beginning to where he is now, to, and I highly recommend it. It's easy to understand the concept and ideas of it. So that one, it's a highly recommended book for if you start at the sales side. For the investing side, I still like Robert Kiyosaki's book,
Yeah.
the one on the real estate one as well, the real estate advantages or the tax one.
Yeah.
That one's really good. But I also like the one the truth about real estate, right? I think that's the name.
Uh-huh.
He's got an extremely good book there. That one where he has some of his experts to come and share with you some of the tricks and trades that they're actually using to invest in real estate. So those are the two books I would highly suggest and recommend.
Oh, that's awesome. I need to maybe go back and look at some of Robert's books. So
Oh yeah,
I've just been like busy with other things, but yeah, yeah. Sounding like Sirhan, yeah, I really like that.
yeah,
I'm
it's a
almost
great
done
book.
with it, so
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they reach out to you?
Facebook.
Okay, Facebook.
Yeah, well, you can come to my Facebook page. It's
Huh.
just under Stephen Thao, or
Okay.
my number is 651-558-7308. And
Okay.
you could also just walk by anytime at my office on
Okay.
2489 Rice Street, Roseville, Minnesota, 55113.
Yeah. So that's creativeresults.biz.
That's a corporate office.
Okay. And I'll leave that information down there too. So that if you guys want to get a hold of Steven, reach out to him, or go work out with him at 5 in the morning. So
Yeah, that's right. Come on by. We'll have some fun.
yeah. What's your last tip before we go? Any last tips, thoughts, and then we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I think my biggest tip to conclude here is to continue to surround yourself with very, very positive environments. Those who are dreamers just like you, those who are further than you, those who when you sit with, they discuss a lot about ideas, and it could take you up to another level, because those are the ones that's going to be able to help you during your hardest setbacks, or when you have self doubts,
Uh-huh.
or when you need a path, or when you need a direction to kind of guide you. Those are the ones. So, and especially when you're pursuing, it doesn't matter how far along you are, what stage you are. When you're moving forward with a new idea, the idea is very, very vulnerable.
Uh-huh.
Anybody could say something, and sometimes if your dream isn't big enough towards it, it could take you off. You could
Yeah.
just back out of it completely. So you want to stick around, surround yourself with positive influence, positive environments, positive people who's doing good, people who can empower you, and that'll take you to your next stage and continue to network with those. Because I can guarantee you too, those are the same people that are not afraid to share ideas with you.
Yeah. 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 Awesome, man. Yeah, thanks a lot, Steve. I wrote a bunch of stuff. So if you guys didn't write notes, I don't know. Rewatch this on YouTube if you did it. I'm probably gonna rewatch it so that because I was focusing on other things so that I could get a lot of tips and tricks and advice that you gave. Again, yeah. So thanks a lot. Again, if you guys want Steven to come back, just let us know. And if people want you back, you'll come back.
I could, I would, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Awesome.
All
Thanks
right.
again, Steven.
You're welcome. Have a good
Yeah.
one, okay?
Okay. All right. I'll see you guys.
See ya.
Yeah. Bye.